I've noticed a bit of a worrying trend with League lately, and if you're terminally online like me, you probably have too. Signs of impending doom upon this game that we all love to hate and hate to love. Queue times are too long, too many dodges and remakes, AFKs every other match, toxicity at its 5th all-time high just this week. Every patch is a clusterfuck of changes that don't do much except when they do, and straight up murder Yumi. And creators quitting or just complaining about the game non-stop because they just can't enjoy it anymore, or because there are no new updates with real content. If you just open Twitter and follow a few League-related creators or accounts, you'll notice an overwhelming slew of negativity all the time. And the one guy who was more or less consistent with his positivity about the game, well... So I wanted to take a deeper look into this, the reasons why it's happening, and why it's such a dominant sentiment in the community. At first, I was going to talk about toxicity, and how it's driving away players that otherwise enjoy the game, but I think it goes a bit deeper than that. League, at least in Summoner's Rift, is a sweaty, competitive game at its core. Competitions get heated, it's only natural. Then there's the time commitment, coupled with the snowballing nature of a MOBA game. Before League, I used to play Rainbow Six Siege, and that game is different, but it's also a competitive esport that could get toxic sometimes. The key difference is that in Siege, every match would be divided in rounds, 5 minutes at the longest. So let's say you and a teammate get killed in the first 2 seconds. Now your team is in a 3v5. It's miserable. You have very little chance of winning, but the thing is, in about 3 to 4 minutes, that round is over and the next one starts. None of the mistakes you made on the first round carry over to the second, so discounting tilt, you are essentially reset to a level playing field on every single round, within that 40-minute game. But how does League operate? You and a teammate die in a level 1 invade, and now for the remaining 39 minutes, you have to play from a disadvantage. And that disadvantage only gets bigger and bigger as the game goes on. Playing League from behind feels terrible. But the kicker is that you are likely stuck in that environment for 40 minutes, having to wait for a whole new match so you can have your even odds again. That sort of situation is perfect for breeding toxicity. Ganked level 2 by Shaco? Well, why bother? Just run it down and speedrun a defeat into maybe having better luck next game. How sometimes I see teams stomping and all it takes is one missed Baron and their mental just implodes into 20 minutes of jerking off around the map before losing a free game. That's not all though, and it's one thing that Rainbow Six Siege has also struggled with. It's the lack of ways to play the game without getting into that heated atmosphere. Let's say you really want to play League one day and your first 2 games are miserable piles of frustration. Do you keep playing? A lot of people will just log off. Like they have 2 jobs and 4 kids to take care of. They don't have time for that. They aren't gonna play this game for hours on end hoping for a single good match. Then there's the opposite end of the spectrum. People who do play for hours on end, maybe it's the way they want to spend a day off, or they are just on that streak of losing games and want to finish it off with a good one. Regardless of which extreme you think about, people want to play good fun games of League. Not everyone is necessarily just grinding the ranks, and even if they are, they deserve to have some fun too. But if you want to play this game, then you basically have 3 choices. You sweat your balls off at ranked, you sweat your balls off at ARAM, or you sweat your balls off at the rotating game mode, which will either be Ultimate Spellbook or Earth most of the time. And I'm not counting normals because they are just ranked without a reward at the end. Now here's the thing. There were ways, in the past, of playing League of Legends with a bit of variety. It wasn't just Summoner's Rift. You had Twisted Tree Lines, you had Dominion, and from time to time, you have something unique, like the Odyssey event, or the push your friends into a black hole thingy. Now, at that age, I was too busy watching Tokyo Mew Mew, but anyone who actually played those modes back then consistently say that those were actually a lot of fun. You'd see big creators, or just players on League Twitter, clamoring for more Nexus Blitz, more Twisted Tree Lines, bring back PvE, bring back this, bring back that. You get the idea. And then there's the quality of the games themselves. Because boy, don't you just love when you have time to play 2 or 3 ranked matches, and before you can get a single auto attack off, you have to go through 4 dodges and 2 remakes. And then you get into a 10-minute match with 2 AFKs and 1 15-minute hellscape with your 2 and 34 bot lane who gave up by minute 3. It's like people are becoming allergic to just playing the game as normal. It's to the point where you have people dodge blind pick games because your team comp is incoherent or some shit. By now, you probably understand the point I'm trying to make here. In terms of balance, the game is fine. It's not perfect, I'd say good is stretching it, but it's fine, it's okay. It's the overall state of the game that has people upset. Everyone feels like their lane has no impact, and somehow they're all simultaneously right. It does feel like that, even if it's not objectively true. Except for top lane. Top laners should get free dental care for the shit they go through. What drives the most negativity, as far as I've observed, is that League feels like it's going through a slump at the moment. Things like the hype for the Riot MMO, Arcane, Wild Rift, the updates for Legends of Runeterra, it all puts into perspective just how little Riot has focused on their flagship game, League of Legends. The last piece of content they added that I witnessed was Ultimate Spellbook, a rotating game mode that takes place in Summoner's Rift. Most of the updates are just balance patches, a few changes to items and the meta here and there, and a fuck ton of skins. It's like the game is in maintenance mode, working with a skeleton crew, while Riot puts its eggs on other baskets. The Season 13 cinematic was the straw that broke the camel's back. The backlash it got wasn't just stemming from it being underwhelming. It's that, plus the League is dying bandwagon, plus the Riot is focusing on other games train, plus the League has no new content convoy, and the player base feels burnt out. Fleet? Yeah, I got nothing. But just a mediocre cinematic without all the context surrounding it is not enough to warrant a reaction quite like this.
I woke up at 9 AM to watch the cinematic, after which I immediately went here to record this video.
I mean, this isn't it. It's not. This no, that's not it. So I'd imagine when rank drops tomorrow, they're gonna release the real one, because this is like what is that? Like a prelude, like a intro. Holy shit, it might be it.
Little bros, this is it. You were here for the downfall of League of Legends.
Oh, let's go, man.
The downfall. I hope they do something, you know?
Riot did announce that they had some ambitious goals for 2023 with a budget increase that would go to League of Legends, despite what the Season 13 cinematic may have signaled. Fake news? Copium? Legit? I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. But now is the perfect time for Riot to get out of this lukewarm phase that League seems to be going through, and I'm cautiously excited to see what they have in stock. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Tell your friends and family about it, spread it in your local church, and don't forget,
take care of yourselves, my dudes.